Welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, created and hosted by Scott Knudsen, to explore the crossroads of horses and business. On today's show, Scott visits with Kriss Titus. Kriss is a businesswoman, entrepreneur, and longtime leader of Florida's tourism growth. She is the founder and CEO of Michael's Foundation, an organization dedicated to supporting veterans and their families through experience-based programming. Now here's your host, Scott Knudsen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Scott Knudsen. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're listening to us on KCAA, the NBC affiliate out in California, or if you're watching our podcast on one of our many platforms, we welcome you and thank you so much. Today, we have a very special guest today, and her name is Kriss Titus. Kriss is a businesswoman. She's an entrepreneur. She's a longtime leader of Florida tourism. And when PTSD hit her family, she changed her career path and became founder and CEO of Michael's Foundation. Kriss, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Scott. I'm so excited.
Oh, me too. It's going to be so much fun. There's so much to talk about. And the reason we started the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show is for education and for inspiration, and you do both. And we're so glad you're on the show. So growing up in the city, how did you fall in love with horses? What started that relationship?
Well, I was in the tourism industry in the Orlando area, and I met this gentleman by the name of Mark Miller, who owned his family owned and operated Arabian Nights dinner attraction. And he said, "Why don't you come work for me?" And I went, not my bag. I don't do horses." And he said, "No, really, you would love it." I went, no. And eventually he blackmailed me with bringing my children Christmas presents one night on Christmas Eve, and then said to the kids, "The only way you need to thank me is get your mom to come work for me. And I'll give you Christmas Eve presents for the rest of your life." And that was almost 30 years ago.
Oh my goodness, smart man. I love that. I love that. Get to the kids with gifts and they'll get the mom.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of kids. That was 6 kids he was bringing gifts to. So
Oh
that
my
wasn't just a couple of them, that was a half dozen.
Well, that shows you how bad he needed you and wanted you over there. So let's go to the tourism, since we started with that. So what did you do for Florida as far as tourism?
Well, I've done many things for Florida tourism. One of the things that was incredibly fun is I ran the tourism organization with the Walton County Tourism Development Council in the beautiful panhandle of Florida, in Santa Rosa Beach. And it was a small, sleepy little town at the time. And they brought me in because of my tourism expertise. And I had a clean slate. It was like a blank canvas. And I got to take this little place of paradise and turn it into a Camelot. And it was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place. Got to brand it. We built it up. We went from a 2-way road highway to a 4-way highway, and that's good and bad. But we that area, beaches of South Walton, it's still absolutely incredible. It's kind of nestled between Panama City and Destin, and it's quite a gorgeous place.
That is awesome. So I guess let's stay on tourism. So give us a fun story. Give us something you did that was something unique or fun for someone that maybe is not in tourism, or maybe that is.
Well, I have lots of fun stories. I've done everything in tourism that you could possibly think of. I've done public relations and made sure that Mark Miller at Arabian Nights got on the Today Show during when they brought the National Horse Show back to New York City in Madison Square Garden. And that was a lot of fun. It was a matter of fact, we were doing a program in the morning on the Today Show, and it was like at 5 o'clock in the morning. And because of my tourism connection, I knew the guy at Disney whose brother was the bigwig for the New York Fire Department. And so when our horses showed up, we had a line of firemen and policemen with red lights and all that kind of good stuff to drop our horses off in front of Rockefeller Center.
That's awesome.
What can I say? Tourism, we're a connected group.
Oh my goodness, that's kind of like a drop the mic kind of deal. That's really cool. That is really
a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Goodness. So Arabian Nights working with Mark Miller. So he bribed your kids and then you went to work for him. So for people that maybe aren't familiar with Arabian Nights, can you explain a little bit about the show? Because it was incredible.
Sure. The show ran for 26 years. It closed in 2013. It was we showcased 100 different horses in about 2.5-hour show. And then it was a story of a princess and a genie and the prince to come. She needed to find her prince. And we served almost 1,500 people dinner every night during the show. And every once in a while during busy season, we turned that arena over in 45 minutes for the second set of 1,500
Oh
people.
my goodness. And it was every day, right? I think.
Every day, 365 days a year, 26 years in a row.
That's a lot of shows and a lot of meals.
Oh yeah, I think Mark finally told me he thinks he did like 10 million people over the 26 years.
Oh my goodness. What a story. What a success story.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So we have a lot of entrepreneurs watching or listening and listening. And so that's a family business. So what are the secrets to helping a family business last that long with, I know it's stressful doing that many shows a week. So what's some advice you can give somebody in a family business?
Well, if you are part of a family owned and operated business, the first thing I would recommend, especially with a big family, is get all your family employed in that business too, which I did.
Yeah, there you go.
There wasn't anybody in our family that didn't work at Arabian Night.
Awesome.
As a matter of fact, my very Italian Catholic husband came to work for us at Arabian Nights, and as our vice president of sales, and I was his boss. Okay, so and that worked out. We've been married 50 years, so it still worked out.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the kids all participated. My daughter was on stage. My son rode in the show. I had a daughter that did marketing. I had a daughter that did operations. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Now, the two little ones, they just caused a lot of trouble all the time.
That was their job.
That was their job, mischief. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So what all did you do in the production with Arabian Nights? Did you do different jobs, or was it one specific one you brought in?
Yes. Well, with 170 employees and 7 directors under me, I had to learn everybody's job. And of course, there wasn't too much I had to learn in marketing because that was my background. But I did have to learn finance and administration and operation, but Mark one time, oh, and food and beverage, but Mark one time said, you need to learn about the entertainment industry. And I said, sure, I can do that. So I bebopped down there, not in my blue suit and high heels. Rather, I went in my jeans and my cowgirl boots.
Awesome.
And the barn manager said, oh, you're here. I'm so glad. Here is a rake and you can go clean that stall. And I went, I'm going to clean a stall? Now I'm like the big dog, right?
Sure.
And she said, yes, if you're going to work with horses and the entertainment industry, the horses are entertainment. They need to be taken care of. There's your first stall.
Oh my.
So for about 2 weeks, I went every day and cleaned stalls, and it was not my ideal career move.
Right.
But I'm really glad that I did, because I realized that every part of a big company, everybody chips in. So that's what I did.
That's a great story. And I think that's so important for management to be able to do all the jobs, or at least understand them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
plus, when they see you doing it, didn't they look at you a little bit different after 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, I think they went by the stalls a couple of days and went, but in the end, I do think I earned a lot of respect. I really do. I loved everybody at Arabian Nights. I knew everybody's name. I never missed anybody's name, and I always checked on them, and it was good. It's good. I still know a lot of those people from Arabian Nights.
How great is that?
Yeah.
How great is that?
Yeah.
So what's a behind the scenes story that you could speak about as far as Arabian Nights? Maybe with either the horses or maybe some fun guests that came or something.
Oh, we have a lot of fun guests that came, a lot of stars, because we were in Orlando.
Sure.
But okay, here's my all-time favorite story. And this really did happen.
Awesome.
So manager on duty, which we all had to do that at night. So we had a manager there at night during the show. And we had this great act. It was a talking horse, Mr. Ed and the talking horse. And it was just really cute, maybe 8-10 minute act. And one of the things that the horse said to the trainer is, the trainer said, you want me to be a little sexier? And Ed said, yes. And he said, are you sure? The horse says, yes. So he would take off his pants and he would have bloomers on, right? And it got big, ha, 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 ha. Well, one night he ripped off his pants and there were no bloomers.
Oh no.
He was in the cutest blue silky thong underwear I have ever seen in my life.
Oh my goodness.
I mean to tell you, the show must go on.
It has to. Oh my.
At first he kind of covered himself and ran behind the curtain, and the audience was roaring, and he came back out and finished that act in those little blue underwear.
Good for him. Good for him. Oh my goodness.
I was manager on duty and I was like, did that just happen?
Oh no. Bless his heart. That's terrible. It's funny how something so off the script usually turns out to be something that's so special like that.
It was, and it was so funny. It was the best of the best.
Well, doing that many shows, like y'all did.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, a lot.
Yes. I love it when a scripted thing goes a little bit off. It's
Yes.
uncomfortable at first, but then it really makes it a little bit more natural, a little bit more fun.
Well, a little secret about Arabian Nights. We had we all our music was canned, but we had a drummer, a live drummer.
Awesome.
And when a horse was off beat or there was a blip in the show, that drummer just went right on. Nobody ever knew it.
Oh my goodness.
And that was Chuck the drummer, and he was there all 26 years of Arabian Nights being open.
Chuck the drummer. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. Goodness gracious.
Scott will be right back with more from Kriss Titus.
Hi, I'm Scott Knutson, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Today, we're going to talk about something I'm really passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. Those that don't, now you know I do. And we've been working on this for several months, and we wanted to get it just right. And we don't put our name on anything unless we feel 100% certain it's the best product we can get. And we've done it. I really believe we've done it. We've created a coffee line, 13 great flavors. I'm going to show you 3 of them. We have K-Cups in all 13 flavors. Here's a Jamaican Me Crazy. It's just a really great coffee. Everyone has great logos. It has a brand, the same brand that's on our horses, our trailers. You know that brand means something, and we wouldn't put it on here if it wasn't good coffee. We have whole bean. This is a great Honduran blend, and it's a whole bean coffee. We have whole bean in all 13 flavors. And then we have a ground coffee. This is a really great one. My wife and I really like this a lot, loved it. So we named it after our daughter, Hades Blend. Everyone has the packaging and the logo of the show, our brand, and I hope you like it. I really believe you will. And we're going to have more flavors coming out soon. We're going to have the pumpkin spices, and then we're going to go to peppermint after that. And please send us your suggestions as well. You can find it at cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Think coffee shop. Cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Thank you so much.
So how did y'all find the horses for Arabian Nights?
This is great. They're pretty simple. They came from Mark Miller's family's farm.
Wow.
Mark is Mark's mother, Basie Tankersley. She was a world-renowned Arabian horse breeder and her breeds were Amar horses. But the interesting thing is this particular herd of horses is over 200 years old. It's never been broken up for 200 years. And Mark's family was the 3rd owner of this herd for 200 years. So it's only been in 3 families.
How incredible.
And now Mark is still the person who oversees the horse. His mom died in 2013, and he still is the keeper of the herd. And he doesn't keep all his horses in Florida anymore. He lives in Florida, but he and his daughter Hannah work with the University of Arizona, and they've taken over a large part of the breeding program and for that educational opportunity for their equine school. So that's pretty cool.
How special. Yeah, that is cool. That is so 200 years for that herd, 3 ounces.
Yeah. He's
amazing.
And as a custodian, he's, wanted to make sure it went on. And now his daughter, she's in Arizona, and she works with the University of Arizona. So
it's cool that, with that herd, he helped people in Florida, but he's also helping people in Arizona.
That's right.
That's a special, that's the power of the horse, though, and the generosity of a person and a family, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mark is a generous man.
Yeah, that's just amazing, and they're so educational, but they're also so beautiful to watch, and it is art. And I'm glad you said that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the attachment to humans and horses is from the heart, and it's authentic, and it shows every day. when we're around horses. And again, I've been around horses for quite a few years now, and I love them. I pet them. I snuggle them. I speak well about them, but a little secret: I've never ridden one.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody's got a role, and yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what about like the actors? Were there actors, or were there more the horse trainers in there with them, or were they more the actors in there with them?
Well, we would say that our horses were the main
The
actors.
star. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we'd say they were star number one, and then I would say those entertainers would say, on any given day, I'm star number two. And Mark had great trainers there, and he was very connected with the circus. So he had all kinds of great entertainers from circus, and we had anything from the country western act to a bareback act to a Spanish act to Walter Farley's Black Stallion act.
Wow.
So
how special.
And again, the horses were the number one star, but I'll tell you what, it takes a village, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And how special is that to let somebody watch that and have the different horses, and then they have the actors in the train. It's just what a special deal.
Oh yeah. And people loved it. They loved it.
Well, to run that long and every single day, that's tells you right there. That's amazing. So what is that painting there on the wall? That's beautiful. Is that a painting?
Well, this is a picture of Arabian Nights. It was our first marketing photo of actually it's
Wow.
a painting of Arabian Nights, and the facade you see in the back, that actually was our building for Arabian Nights.
Very cool.
And it is the different horse acts that we had, and it really accents the Black Stallion, Walter Farley's Black Stallion. Mark's family was very good friends with Walter Farley's family, and Walter Farley gave Mark Miller the permission to use Walter Farley's Black Stallion in our show, and that is near and dear to me.
Absolutely, it's beautiful. It sure is. It sure is. So I guess we'll leave Arabian Nights, and we'll move to the thing you're now the president and the founder and the CEO of, which is Michael's Foundation. And we'll spend a lot of time on this, so this is very dear to me too. So what started the Michael's Foundation?
Well, I had three sons that served in the Army, and
awesome.
My youngest son, mine and Larry's youngest son, Michael, he served in the Army for 7 years, and he was in artillery and 4 tours in Afghanistan. And when he came back from being in the service, he didn't do so well. Mm-hmm. He struggled. He had a lot of those invisible wounds of war that we talk about, but we don't always understand. Right. Suffered with PTSD and traumatic brain injury. And about 1.5 years after he came back, he committed suicide.
I'm sorry.
And thank you. And it was the most devastating thing, of course. For parents and family to have that happen. And we wanted to do something to honor Michael. And so we started Michael's Foundation. And what we do is we work with veterans and their families. And we offer experiential programming to just help them. How do I want to say this? We want them to learn and thrive and how to adapt to civilian life, because that's really a hard thing for somebody who is in the military or even out of the military. Right. They just, they've learned what they've learned, and to come back into civilian life, it's a tough one. And unfortunately, we lost Michael because he couldn't adapt. Right. But we're doing something great now. And our core program is our horse program.
Isn't that something? It kind of circled back there, didn't it?
I can't get rid of them.
I love it. I love how the horses keep being in your life,
They do. And it is with the kindness and generosity of Mark Miller, who has helped us get our foundation off the ground. We are on his farm. We're just a little north of Orlando, about 30 miles. And we are on a beautiful 80-acre farm with a 22-stall barn and on 2 beautiful lakes in rolling hills and lots of beautiful trees. And oh my gosh, those beautiful oak trees, there's nothing like spending the time under the oak tree, just chatting, just chewing on something, right?
Absolutely.
And we have a program where we are working with our veterans and horses, where they have a time to build alignment, not only with themselves, but the horses, and can learn all kinds of things, but mostly to be able to find that peace and tranquility and that quiet time that they can find when they're around a horse. It's all ground-based, no horse riding. And then we have other programs that go with that. We have active meditation, where we do drum circles and sound programs, and we have a healing through art program, and then we have family days. And these are all because not only is this a great program for the veterans, but it is their families. And we want to build a community where people can connect and share and feel like they belong. And that community is, to me, one of the most important steps, because anybody can have a program for 4 weeks and say, hey, come do our program. Right. But then if they leave and they don't have any place to come back, you're not helping them thrive. Right. And so that's what we did. We built programs to have them come back time and time again, bring their families, bring their loved ones. And we have lots of fun things. One of our big programs is Family Fun Day, which we have once a month, and we all bring a potluck dinner, and it's a potluck dinner, and we all bring our own recipes, and we just hang around the farm and talk, and the kids get to see the horses, and it's just a time to say life is okay. It can slow down, and you're in a safe place. Our final program that we have is we do a program for VA benefits. And we do this through a partnership with another nonprofit called Fighting for Our Heroes. And the person who runs that is Alan Alford and his wife, Robin. And they help veterans to get their VA benefits when maybe they didn't get exactly what they needed. And he's quite good at what he does. And the great part about that is when those veterans aren't getting the benefits they want or the benefits they deserved or what they earned. Alan pretty much fixes that. And
great.
They've been able to get, a higher percentage of VA benefits. They've been able to get schooling. They've been able to have VA loans. He's just been great with that. And we support Alan in getting that done. And that's just kind of extra cool. And
That's
this year,
so much.
and this year we're going to be working with the spouses of those veterans, because we want them to know what their benefits will be if, for God's sake, something awful happens.
Right.
They might lose a husband, or their husband might not be there anymore. So we're going to help them understand how those VA benefits work for them. So
that is so awesome. I love how you help not only the person, but the spouse, because they're going through it as well. And sometimes they get overlooked, and not intentionally, just because of the focus. There's only one spotlight, but what you're doing is helping the whole family.
Yeah.
That,
it's kind of, we started, here's a little secret. If anybody's going to start a nonprofit, don't start a nonprofit during the pandemic.
I was going to ask you, and
Okay.
You just nailed it. That's perfect.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. That's a good deal.
Yeah. So that's my little nonprofit
Tip.
gift to everybody.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
start
awesome.
it during the pandemic.
Yeah, no.
But we had to stop and go and stop and go and stop and go quite a few times. But what happened with our family, myself, my husband, and our 6 children and our 13 grandchildren, they all have participated in helping with Michael's Foundation. And the healing we've had together as a family is so rewarding.
Yeah, just think of all the people you're helping, your whole family and the foundation.
It chokes me up, because
me too.
When Michael passed, we all were like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And we kind of like dispersed. I won't say we didn't, but we kind of dispersed our feelings in other ways. And then when we started Michael's Foundation, we built this family bond again, and it's been a beautiful healing. So yeah, families need to be part of healing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's beautiful. I love, like what you said, also the 2 words safe space, because they get to keep coming back, and then they get to bring their families and show them where they healed or partially healed, and they come back, and it's a safe place to keep going. It's not an end of the road kind of deal.
Yes. And Mark has been so great he actually, we do pay rent at the farm, $1 a year.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And we have a few horses that are Amar Arabian horses. And when we need an extra horse, he's got a few on the farm, so we can borrow them. And I think one of the greatest things that happened in 2020 was that Mark had given us one of his mares, Designing Power Lady.
Wow,
and she was pregnant when we got her, and we had a beautiful foal February 15th of 2020, and she was born, and Mark kept saying, this is the greatest thing for a veteran, to see a foal grow up. And when I called him, I said, oh my gosh, Mark, we had a baby. It's a boy. I don't know what to call him. We just know it's a baby.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you want to call him? Because in the Elmara breed, they have a naming key, like this is the Dom and this is the sire, and it's related to this one, and it goes back generation, and they all have a naming key. And I said, I know I can't name the cult. And he said, well, I've been thinking about it. I think we should name him Michael's Stream.
Oh my goodness.
So Michael's Dream. How about that?
That is really cool.
So right now, Michael's Dream has grown up to be quite the good-looking stallion.
Awesome.
And he is in North Carolina with a trainer who, by the way, was a trainer and entertainer at Arabian Nights, Laura Mandy's. And Michael grew up with, she saw Michael grow up. So she is now working with Michael's Dream, and she's teaching him how to mind his P's and Q's and learn his manners as a stallion.
Isn't that it's amazing how many circle backs there are in this story. It's
Isn't
just
it great?
It really is. It really is.
Thank you for listening to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Scott will be right back with Kriss Titus. For more information on Scott Knudsen, the Cowboy Entrepreneur, visit us online at cowboyentrepreneur.com.
Another thing that is so cool about your story is the power of the horse. I mean, during Arabian Nights, we're talking about the actors and the employees working every day for that long, over 20 years. The horses are working just as hard, if not harder.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're covering up the human mistake. So they're doing shows and they're in acts, doing the acts and performing. But now here they're healing, heroes. Yeah. That's just amazing to me that the horse, and I've been around them all my life. I love them. But to see the power of the horse, it's amazing.
Yeah, our horses empower our heroes every day.
Absolutely.
And it's just an amazing connection that I'm so glad that I've been able to experience and be able to share that connection with veterans and their families.
Right. Well, you're sharing it with the world, and that's what's so strong. And even if there's somebody that's not seeing it, so let's talk about your website. So somebody can go, what's your website? It
is michaels-foundation.org.
Okay. So michaels-foundation.org. And we're going to put that on the end of the show, and so people can find it. But if they're watching or listening and they want to, go it or something, they can see it, and they can see how great it is. So people that have been there can enjoy it. But someone that's not been there yet, or they want to donate, they sure can, because what you're doing is generational.
Yeah. And yes, and for all those people out there who would like to donate, just remember, every program we do is free to our veterans and their families. So it never costs anything. It's all free.
I love that. I love that. They deserve it. They deserve it. They did their part. They did their part.
They sure have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you have a trainer or somebody that watches the horses on the farm?
Oh, yes. We have a couple of trainers.
Cool.
Kathy Huddleston is one of them. And the other one is Kyle Godwin. And Kyle is a big Almara fan. And he comes from us after spending time in the equestrian school that Mark supported about 3 years ago. So again, all in the family.
Yeah, it's
everybody's
just amazing.
Family.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a feel good deal, and it's amazing. I keep circling back, and it just gets stronger that way, And so let's talk nonprofits. And you told the secret, I think, that everybody need to hear. Don't start during a pandemic at all. But being a nonprofit, and dear to my heart, you don't have to run it as a nonprofit and run it broke. You can run a profitable nonprofit, That's the way you grow. You know, there's the coolest theater here in Fredericksburg, Texas, called the Fredericksburg Theater Company. And they were, you know, struggling, and they were building, trying to build momentum. But once they did, as they started marketing right, it got better and better and bigger. And they were able to put the assets back into the business. It just kept rolling. So for people that either have nonprofits, work at nonprofits, and we have a lot that watch the show that do, what's some advice you can give them to stay strong? Because your website, I was on it last night. It's powerful, it's strong, and the story's strong. What's some advice you can give to somebody out there that's trying to run a nonprofit or start a nonprofit?
I think that you have to always be authentic with your story. I think you always have to be authentic when you speak to donors and stakeholders. And I think that the most important thing for a nonprofit is do not do mission drift.
Explain.
During the pandemic, I would have done anything to do mission drift, but every day I had to say, no, it's veterans, Kriss. It's veterans.
Right. It's veterans.
Because you just are, you know, you're saying, but this isn't working. Give it time. Give it time. It needs to develop. It needs to unfold. It needs to make the journey with you and with the people you serve. And that's just the way it is. I also would say connect. Connection.
That's what you did, right? And the tourism board, you did it, and maybe not you did it, and it works.
Oh yeah, I never burn a bridge. That's for sure, right?
Never.
And I have been able to go back to people I have known years and years and years ago and ask them for help or support, and they're always they're there for you. Don't be afraid to ask.
Right.
The worst thing somebody can say to you is no, and then you say, but can you volunteer?
There you go. The follow-up question, always.
You want to clean stalls?
Absolutely. You can show them how now, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I can. And think of ways to be creative. There's no wrong ways to reach out and be creative with your nonprofit. There really isn't. I mean, if you would have said, you know, a year ago, I think we'll do drum circles with veterans.
Yeah.
And we started to bring a drum circle in, and the veterans love it. First they'll say, a what circle? And we'll say, a drumming circle. Well, what do you mean? Well, we get around and we meditate, and we do it with music and sound. And we go, it takes about an hour, and you're going to think you're really in a weird place the first couple of minutes. And when it's over, you're going to walk away and say, that was the coolest thing I've ever done. And by golly, that's the truth. That's what happens.
But see, you went out on a limb and you did something for the right reason, and it worked.
Yeah.
You know, that's amazing.
I've surrounded myself with very talented people.
You know, I feel that's so important, because, you know, somebody's going to donate to your nonprofit or volunteer at your nonprofit, and they see it's being used to the utmost. They're going to give to that, or they're going to volunteer for that. Nobody wants their money wasted, whether they're donating or their time wasted, you know, and that's so smart. I think that's a big tip for anyone in the industry trying to have a nonprofit. Do the right thing with the money.
Yes. And be transparent, authentic, and don't be afraid to be creative. And for gosh sake, ask. Don't forget to ask.
Absolutely. You know, there are some very successful nonprofits in different areas in the horse industry, and those are the ones to go to find out how to do it, you know, and share ideas. You don't have to reinvent it all the time.
No, you don't. I'm so happy to have so many organizations I can reach out to and say, did I do this right? And they'll say, no, but you'll learn.
I get that every day. Oh my goodness. So when the spouses come with the military veterans, what happens? For someone that hadn't been there, or been to something like that, do y'all meet them at the gate and welcome them in, or do they come in and they know the horses' names, or take us behind the scenes?
Okay, well, first of all, they go up this nice little kind of skinny dirt road, and they don't know what to expect, and then voila, there's the farm. And
so awesome.
It is incredible. I mean, it's incredible. And we have hills where we are, and like you in Texas, hill country.
Yes.
It's unique, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. Absolutely.
And so that's an amazing thing. And then they drive down the long driveway, and there's horses out in the pasture. And we have a couple horses that say, hot darn, there's somebody visiting us, and they run right along the right along the fence line.
What a welcoming committee.
See.
Yes.
And we gather together and we sit for a while, we talk, we introduce each other, because we always have new people. We introduce ourselves to each other, and we talk a little bit about what the programs are about, and I tell them a little bit about our story and why we started Michael's Foundation. And then they choose what program they want to participate in. And Saturdays are usually the horses program, but as we have grown, the frequency has gotten better, and we have more opportunities for them to come on other days besides Saturday. So that's good. That's good. Wow. This is our first year doing our healing through art. And this is so great. The person who's teaching it, her husband is one of our veterans that come to our program.
Oh, that's special.
And she does an hour and a half watercolor. She's going to do an hour and a half watercolor of just everybody do what they want to do. And she's going to take them through a journaling healing process on how art opens the heart and gives you a way to put your feelings on paper with paint.
Oh, that's beautiful. So cool.
And it's one of our veterans' wives.
But you're expanding the program. You're taking that opportunity and then turning it into something great for more people. You have a way with that, don't you? That's awesome. I love that. I love that. So do some of the veterans that come back the second and the third time, do they have a favorite horse? Or do you ever see that connection?
Oh yeah. When they get there, they go to their favorite horses and snuggle and kiss around and give them smooches. And of course, we have Elmar Arabian horses, so they're perfect.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Well, these are tough men and women that spin through a lot. And then they go to the horse and, like you say, snuggle them, and that's where they go. That's really cool. That is really cool. So if there's somebody watching or listening to us on KCAA and they say, hey, I have a veteran in my family, or I want to support this, and they have a veteran, how would a veteran get in line to come to your place?
We have a way where you can sign up online, and we will get back with you. We're in Florida, so somebody from California may not want to come out, but one of the programs we're going to do this fall 2022 fall, is we're going to do a weekend camp program, and we're going to reach out outside of Florida to bring a veterans camping experience with our horse program and all our other programs. So they have the time. I hope to bring in some guest speakers and campfires and s'mores around the fire and sleeping in the pastures. And that's why we have to do it in October, because it's pretty hot.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, and we want to do a couples program with veterans and their spouses. That's really important to us, a long weekend. And we have a couple, we want to do kids playing with horses program, where they come out and paint a horse and groom a horse and good things like that. And we have all kinds of really cool programs coming on board in 2022.
Oh, I love that. I love how you just keep innovating and keep getting better. And they just go to michaels-foundation.org, and then they can find it for the military.
And you have to be creative. I'm from the entertainment.
Absolutely.
I'm from the entertainment tourism.
There's a reason you were there for so long and creating all these things, is so you can take that talent and put it here and help more people. So you were entertaining then, and now you're entertaining and helping. So you double down.
It's my mission in life to thrive.
Yeah.
And, I want to thrive with kindness. I want to thrive with compassion. I want to thrive with humor, and I want to thrive with style. Thank you, Angela, Maya Angelou, for teaching me that.
I love that. And I can feel the passion. It's just so great. It's so great. So let's get back to horses. So Michael's promise, what is going to become of him? Are y'all going to show him? Is he going to come back to the farm? Is there going to be videos up on the website of him so people can maybe go look at him? Or
yes, we are working on videos. I have a few. There's a couple of them on our Facebook page with Laura, and he's a cutie pie, and Mark loves him.
Yeah.
And Mark says, what a stallion, and he's got good lineage.
Awesome.
So I think he'll probably say, do you mind if we take Michael's Dream to Arizona for the breeding program? I think that's what Mark is edging towards. So we'll see. We didn't gild him, because he knew he was a good stallion.
He knew. Yeah. Golly, he had the foresight, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that he was born there. That's really neat.
I know. On Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. So what else? What's next? We got a lot of programs coming out for the foundation. We got horses. As far as the trainers with the horses, or are there anything they're doing special for the horses for when the veterans come out?
Well, yeah, the horse program is it's going to grow, so we can have more frequency in what we have to offer. Also, events are going to be big this year. This year we put on our very first Cowboy Christmas party.
Oh, wow. Tell us.
It was so much fun. And of course, free for everybody. Right. And it was just fantastic. And it was our first one. So we will do a repeat on that. And then going back to the old time Arabian Night friends, we hope that in the fall, we can put together a showcase on Arabian Nights program, an Arabian Nights event to bring all those horses and riders out to put a little show on as a fundraiser.
Very
So,
cool.
Those are our big two events.
Those are huge.
They're huge. That's why we're only doing two.
Yeah, smart. Really smart.
Yeah, that's another little nonprofit nugget. Don't do too many events.
No, do a few very well as opposed to a lot and to be terrible at it. Absolutely. That is really cool. That is really cool. Well,
And
Kriss,
we're going to build our partnership. There's a lot of nonprofits out there, and I'm sure since you do a lot of stuff with nonprofits, and they're near and dear to your heart. One of the things you have to always remember when you're in the nonprofit business, you're never in competition with another nonprofit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You are in collaboration.
Yeah.
And because what one can't offer, the other one can.
Right.
When one offers something similar to you, you can offer advice and they can offer advice to you, but it's never competition. It's always collaboration.
Love that.
That's what we do with our partners. We're collaborating with more and more partners every year.
It just makes everybody stronger. You know, it makes the end result so much better for the people we're trying to help or the horses we're trying to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that. That's a great way to end the show. I hate to end the show, but I know we're out of time, but that is so wonderful. Kriss, thank you so much for being on the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. I loved it.
Thanks, Scott. I really appreciate it. I've had a blast.
It's been the fastest time. I mean, it just flew by, and it's such a powerful story. And what you do is going to help so many people. Already is helping so many people. So thank you for what you do, and everybody at Michael's Foundation. I want to thank them so much as well.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kriss. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to all the great sponsors of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. For more information about today's guest, Kriss Titus, visit her website, michaels-foundation.org. If you or your business is interested in being a sponsor of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, please call our office at 830-992-1786 or visit our website, cowboyentrepreneur.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Knutson, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, heard on KCAA, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific. I'd like to talk to you about something I'm very passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. In the morning, afternoon, and even late in the evening, I enjoy a good cup of coffee almost any time of the day. Now, my team at the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show has been working for several months on creating and introducing our own brand of coffee. We wanted to make sure that we got it just right. We don't want to put our name on anything unless we're 100% certain that it's the best product available, and we've finally done it. We have created a wonderful line of coffees, 13 fantastic flavors offered in whole bean, ground, and K-Cups, any way you like to brew your coffee. Now, each of our coffees carries our brand, the very same brand that we put on our horses, our trailers, and our chaps. So you know that this is a quality product. And we only use 100% Arabica beans, the very best beans available. Just listen to some of these wonderful blends and flavors. Jamaican Me Crazy, Honduran San Marcos, Chocolate Cherry Amaretto, Breakfast Blend, and my very favorite, Haley's Blend. A coffee so good, we named it after my daughter. You can order these coffees today by going online to cowboyentrepreneur.shop. That's cowboyentrepreneur.shop. And if you order today, you can get an extra 10% off your final purchase just by entering the promo code COWBOY on checkout. Remember, that's promo code COWBOY for an extra 10% off. Just go to cowboyentrepreneur.shop to order your coffee today.